It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Yeah, what's going on, fam? Lee Sanders with you guys for this Saturday night, April 19th, 2025. Happy Easter weekend to you all. We made it. Night one of WrestleMania 41 is now in the books. And I tell you what, I said this to a couple of people earlier in the week when they were picking my brains about WrestleMania. And I said, as far as WrestleMania goes, I'm really hoping there's going to be some nice little surprises. I definitely need that. And I'm so glad that at least based off what we saw for night one, I can only imagine what's in store for night two. Night one, oh yeah, definitely some good stuff to talk about. Yo, let me know what you thought about tonight's night one WrestleMania sound off. We got the poll up on Twitter at the RCWR show. We also got a poll up on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and you can sound off that way. I'm actually peek my head into that bad boy, see how it's looking right now over there on YouTube, because I actually put the poll out right at the start of the main event, I think. And so, yeah, now I'm kind of getting a little bit of a, what? No, I'm having a hard time believing that. See, those that voted that way, let me put a spoiler out there right now. If you happen to vote for the option terrible overall, do me a huge solid. Follow up and leave a comment. Let me know exactly what's going on with your thought process and why you went that route. Because that just means to me you didn't like one damn thing from the show for the evening. So, but yeah, it looks like the way things are appearing on YouTube, we got a few people that rated tonight's night one event terrible overall. And in the meantime, let me see what's going on via Twitter here. I feel well rested. We were here earlier in the day. We covered NXT, Stand and Deliver, Fallout. So for those of you that maybe haven't checked that bad boy out yet, maybe after you get done with this and you want to get my thoughts about that, feel free to pick you on back, peep that out and everything. Meanwhile, wow. So I'm seeing almost the same percentage on folks that voted terrible overall for night one of WrestleMania, but that's not what's the top dog. I will put that spoiler alert out there for you. That is not what is the top dog right now. I actually see a couple of comments that's coming in here. Shout out to longtime follower, listener Mark, who says the night one event overall was average in his book. If it wasn't for the last match, it would have been below average. You know what? I got to say, I've seen my fair share of WrestleManias, right? This had to have been the first WrestleMania where I was dozing off. And I think, I don't like admitting that, but it's the God's honest truth. Now, before you go, is the old man age catching up to you, Lee, with what's going on there? I think because of what happened with the Hall of Fame ceremony, that definitely threw me off, because I was lucky if I even slept a about 4 hours when it was all said and done. Because, unfortunately, no matter how late it may get, by the way, everybody's way off that's talking about the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. You could tell who watched it in real time, folks like myself, and then who watched it after the fact, watched it on demand, because the times that people are putting out there, that's how you know they're the ones that watched it on demand, because they're talking about, oh, it began at 7 p.m. Eastern, or they're saying it began at 7 p.m. Pacific. And it's like, what are you smoking? Like, we wish it would have began at that time. No, it did not start until 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific. So if you're gonna put some stuff out there, make sure it's right. Don't be letting people poke holes in your stuff and say you're telling a lie. I don't know if it's maybe the jet lag from what happened with the Hall of Fame ceremony, or what, but man, I went into the kickoff special. I thought that was fantastic. Biggie, as always, doing a great job. I loved hearing the breaking news about AAA. In case you guys maybe are not aware, you haven't watched Night One of WrestleMania yet. Welcome, welcome one, welcome all here. Yearly tradition that we do here, WrestleMania week. We cover all the WrestleMania stuff, the NXT, the Raw after Mania, the SmackDown after Mania. We do it all here before we go on a nice, well-deserved break. It's my favorite time of the year, man. I tell you what. But yeah, big ass huge announcement that we got on the kickoff, as it was revealed by Triple H, the owners of the AAA promotion, that WWE has acquired AAA. And you're just going, whoa, 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 say what? And when I saw this news go down in real time, one of the first thoughts that I had was, wow, I didn't get any whiff of this whatsoever from the Dave Meltzers, from the Sean Ross Sapps, from you put the wrestling site out there. Like, I didn't, and I'm thinking about the people that's dropping these huge amounts of money, or just amounts of money in general, for these news syndicators, because they want to feel like they're getting exclusive stuff. They feel like they're, hey, I'm coming away and I'm getting the skinny on stuff before anybody else does, and all that jazz. And man, when it counted the most, not a peep. Not a peep. But boy, I tell you what, when that news got put out there, the wrestling news regurgitators, as I like to call them, oh, the copy and pasting, it was just, just a copy and paste, just lightning fast, right? Just lightning fast. Nobody had no press release. No, nobody, right? You pretty much had to rely on WWE and the AAA promotion to pretty much put the press releases out there, if you were going to put something original out there for your own wrestling regurgitator site and everything. But yeah, such a historic day, let alone on WrestleMania weekend and everything. But wait, we get even more bombshell of a news, and going into night one of WrestleMania, as far as when the first junction between WWE and AAA, when that all kicks off. It's going to be on, and mark your calendars down, Saturday, June 7th. The Worlds Collide Premium Live event is going to be happening in Los Angeles, California, 3 p.m. Eastern. And the way this show is being dubbed right now, it's WWE, it's NXT, it's AAA. Now, some of you guys may say, well, Lee, NXT is WWE. I'm just letting you know the way it had appeared and how they were presenting it logo-wise. It would seem that they're going to get a couple of main stars from the flagship shows, some talents from NXT, and then AAA, boom, worlds collide. So we'll talk a lot more about this whole upcoming event. and the pros and cons of the AAA promotion being acquired by the WWE. Uh, we'll talk a lot more about it on Monday, but I definitely want to get that out to the forefront and everything. I would imagine Triple H, Paul Levesque, if he's not being interviewed at some point during tonight's Mania press conference, where he can maybe shed a little bit more light. Because if you're like me, wow, how did this come together? How long has this been in development? When were things finalized? Like so many questions, and I'm hoping that the members of the press media that's going to be there for WrestleMania weekend ask some damn good questions like that, and not some bubblegum bullshit, right? So let's just get that out the way. So, no particular order as far as the talk of night one, WrestleMania. Look, the last burning image that is left in our minds. And again, welcome one, welcome all that's just now coming on board. Maybe you haven't seen WrestleMania yet. You want to get the skinny. Hey, thank you for spending part of your Easter weekend and your WrestleMania weekend with me. Seth Rollins picking up the victory there in the triple threat match between himself there, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, but Seth Rollins getting some help from a Paul Heyman. We had the burning question, which way was Paul Heyman going to go here? And I got to admit to you guys, I thought for sure that with all of the history that Heyman was going to be going with CM Punk. I just felt he's known Punk longer, the trenches, just everything, just the overall history. I just thought this feels right. It feels like, why not? Right? I must admit, though, there was a little part of me. I almost had like a little voice in the back of my head kind of tapping me on the shoulder. But yeah, what about a Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins alliance? And I was like, it could work, yeah, but no. Maybe Paul Heyman with a Omos. Maybe Paul Heyman with a Braun Breaker. I was still leaning in those directions. And look, not for nothing. I have mentioned Paul Heyman being with Omos or with a Braun Breaker for months now. So I'm not saying anything new here tonight that longtime listeners don't already know. So the fact that we have gone now officially in this direction where we now have the alliance of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, you're just going, wow, the potential that is there, the storylines that's there, so many fun creative directions that we can go here with this creatively. There's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot of entertainment that's definitely there. The more and more that I thought about this, and I said this right before I came on the air, I said this on social media, which was, not for nothing, but if you think about it, just really stop and think about it, CM Punk has essentially planted the seeds that something was going to be there on the horizon for Seth Rollins. Just go back. One of the breadcrumbs that I'll give you is the constant jabs that Punk would take at Rollins. Oh, you got the dumbass little catchy theme song, but beyond that, what else you got? You ain't got jack. Oh, you got that annoying ass laugh. That's pretty much it. But that's one breadcrumb. Let's go a little deeper than that. There's a couple of interviews that he had gave many months ago. I'm trying to think if there was something maybe in recent months, and I almost want to say he said something in the last 4, possibly 5 months, where he talked about, hey, Seth Rollins is so better than the current gimmick that he's giving right now. We need to strip all that away and really get to the core of the guy. Because Punk's whole argument was, if we can get away from all that silliness, there's some really, really good shit that's there. Go back, do your research. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Hopefully, it sounds familiar to some of you guys. So to see how everything played out tonight there with Rollins, because for the record, this was not a okay. Paul Heyman owes Seth Rollins a favor. No, this was a statement because they actually both rolled out together when this was all said and done. So, hey, we got to tune in to Monday Night Raw because, ooh, man, there is going to be yo, what is going on here? Of course, the question, why Paul Heyman? Why do this? After everything that you went through with Roman Reigns and the bloodline, the years of dominance there, why? And then CM Punk, like, why? You know, it's kind of interesting here because I like how this, and we'll go in ahead. We'll start talking about the match in a little bit here, but I just love the fact that when Paul Heyman ultimately betrayed CM Punk, he said to him, "Why? You know, why did you make me do this? Look what you made me do." So he felt very conflicted there. He did not want to, but with Roman Reigns, when he betrayed Roman Reigns, he just looked absolutely beside himself, didn't he? He looked purely straight up disgusted with the man there. Um, CM Punk, all those guys in top notch, rare form. 32 minutes. I'm having that match being clocked at. I'm cross referencing here just to make sure we are accurate on the time. And yeah, I got about 32 minutes, 55 seconds. Seth Rollins picking up the win via pinfall. To Mike's point in the chat, in regards to, I don't like Roman taking the pin. Why the hell is CM Punk so protected? I don't, Mike. I don't look at CM Punk being so protected in the WWE. I don't look at that at all. I don't think that's the case at all. Honestly, I mean, look, you're talking to the biggest Roman Reigns fan. Okay, you can't see it in the background, but I got this really nice autograph joint by Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Pretty much that period there where Roman Reigns had came back at SummerSlam, then went on to Payback, you know, signed the contract, and you know, boom, it pretty much was essentially the beginning of the big dog and everything, the Paul Heyman Roman Reigns alliance and all that. Look, Roman Reigns. This is my counterpoint to the point that you're making, Mike. Roman Reigns dominated year after year after year after year after year. Won so many matches. Okay. So when you hear that Roman Reigns going into this year's WrestleMania is 9-3 as far as his win-loss record, and he is essentially in a elite list of wrestlers with, hey, best, you know, wins, you know, who top four guys that, you know, hey, most wins out of WrestleMania and all that. Hey, look, not for nothing, but whether you want to say wins and or appearances, for him to be in the company of, what was the names that they put out there? They said an Edge. They said a Stone Cold Steve Austin. They said Triple H. And Triple H, you know, right? So Roman Reigns is pretty much joining pretty good company there. I think Undertaker might have been another one, right? But just looking at the totality of the wins and how Roman Reigns usually does at WrestleManias, okay, so he loses on this one. Guess what? Roman Reigns can't afford it because he has no belt that's up for grabs. The Ula Fala is not up for grabs. He been squashed that. Roman Reigns is the goddamn main event, right? You know how you got Moxley running around saying, hey, don't worry about the championship. Your man right here is the championship. I mean, Roman Reigns is pretty much, right? That's good bragging rights to be able to say, yo, I went into the main event of WrestleMania and I wrestled Roman Reigns. Oh, and by the way, I beat Roman Reigns, right? So no, I don't think the majority of fans are going to have any issue with the fact that Roman Reigns uh, was the one that ate the pin. I don't think there's going to be any issue with that whatsoever. What I have a little bit more of an issue with is the fact that they didn't let Seth Rollins really unleash the heat there on both guys. Yeah, nice little whack to the back of Roman Reigns and everything, and kind of really didn't do too much there to Seth Rollins. But if there was ever a moment where we should have just seen a repeated beatdown with that steel chair to both guys, definitely something should have been happening there with Seth while he had that steel chair. I thought he was going to go live it on both men with that chair, and it did not happen. If anything, I was a little bit disappointed in that one. At least blur the lines here. The suspension, the great suspension of disbelief and everything. Go back to when Stone Cold Steve Austin decided he was going to join Vince McMahon. He was going to become corporate Stone Cold. And remember how he went belligerent on The Rock with that steel chair at that one WrestleMania? Oh my God, that was just. I still remember that to this day. Me and my friends, we just was like, "Damn, like he's dead, Holmes. He's dead." You know, I mean, we literally yelling at the TV and everything. So yeah, no issue whatsoever with Roman taking the pin. Punk does not feel distracted whatsoever. I think if anything, when it comes to CM Punk, we need to be paying more attention to the fact that look at this story that's been told with CM Punk so far. Oh, I'm trying to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. What's going to be my path to get to that point? And it seems like at whatever respected juncture, Seth Rollins has screwed him over. And it gets to the point where CM Punk, okay, well, that's now off the, well, how can I get to the main event of WrestleMania here? Like, how can I, and like, okay, for storyline purposes, yeah, Punk, okay, yeah, he got to the main event of WrestleMania. No championship on the line, none of that going on. But once again, the screws were put to him yet again. And if you're following the decorated history between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, you're literally going, man, has Roman not learned yet that you just got to be freaking belligerent on Rollins? Like, you just can't turn your back on this guy for nothing. Like, you want to take this guy down like ASAP. Otherwise, you're going to live to regret it. I personally am loving the fact that the hatred continues between Reigns and Rollins. These guys will probably never, ever, 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 ever be on the same page again. And you know what? That makes for a damn good rivalry. Over 61,000 in attendance at the Allegiant Stadium there in Paradise, Nevada. Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, and making his WrestleMania commentary debut. Apparently, I missed that. I'm hoping that's accurate because I know you snoops out there, you detectives, you all are going to do a good job making sure that not so fast, not true, right? And I'm just picturing Jonathan Frakes from Beyond Fiction. Beyond belief, fact or fiction. We got you. It was a lie. We tricked you. Didn't happen, right? But no, apparently Wade Barrett made his debut. We had good old Jelly Roll kicking things off. Don't worry, we'll talk a lot more about the triple threat main event match. Jelly Roll God bless America. All I know is I saw Jelly Roll. I said, not again. I put the TV on mute. I was not trying to hear from the guy. By the way, the video package that Dana White narrated and talking about the history of that particular part there in Nevada, and linking it back to WWE and everything, really, really cool. I thought that was pretty badass. Uh, Raw World Championship. Jey Uso defeating Gunther to become the new World Heavyweight Champion, getting the job done in about 16 minutes. I thought it was a little bit of a short match. Honestly, I thought the match was good overall. However, I thought that the finish was lame as fuck. I thought that was lame as fuck. By the way, did you guys peep out the fact that just the entrances alone, pretty long-winded, rightfully so, but definitely when it came to Jey Uso and Gunther, I remember it wasn't until 7:21 that the match finally began. I just was going, whoa, okay, whatever, like it's cool. But I had a problem with how the match ended, despite the fact that it was a decent back and forth. My biggest issue with this match is the fact that we never saw Jey Uso really get into that kill frenzy state of mind. Because remember, we were being teased, yeah, man. I'm gonna be unleashing on your ass. So now I know I can beat you, and I'm gonna bring a different side of Jey Uso out there. Like, we heard all this hype, right? All this, okay, all right, it's coming, okay. And it was just the usual Jey Uso. I was looking for a Jey Uso that was trying to draw blood from Gunther and everything, and we didn't get any of that whatsoever. Didn't get any of that whatsoever. I would have loved it even more if it would have been a case where Gunther maybe started to feel a little bit intimidated, and as a result was trying to go for some cheap, desperate tactics in order to retain his world heavyweight title. Oh my God, we've never seen Gunther stoop to these lengths in order to keep his world heavyweight title. He must be starting to get rattled here and what's going on in this matchup against Jey Uso. What the hell, right? And let's pick it up. Closing moments of this matchup here. Closing moments of this matchup here. Looking at my notes. Pretty much we had got 3 straight Superfly splashes that have Gunther getting back to his feet. Jey manages to put him into a sleeper. It was a vertical sleeper. And then Jey just said, okay, I'm going to drop to my back while I still got this torque on this guy. So he still has that sleeper hold on him. And like literally as soon as Jey hits his back, within like 5 seconds, Gunther just taps out. I thought that did significant damage to Gunther because it made him come off like, well, wait a minute here. You've held on to this world title for so long, almost seemed like, God, forever, right? We're thinking about just everything that we've seen with the Gunther character so far. And it didn't feel as big of a special moment as it should have been, if that makes sense. It did not come off that way whatsoever. Instead, you were kind of left going, is Gunther okay? Did somebody get hurt here? What's happening? Because this just feels so random. Why all of a sudden are we just, it seemed like it should have kept going, like we were just starting to get into that next and final gear. What gives? So very weird how this match had ended up here. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good, but you were expecting it to go another level, and it didn't go there. And then just given how the finish had went as well, and it didn't come off like that real good feel moment, at least not for me, because of everything that I just highlighted here. I felt like what I was watching with these two guys, it was nothing more than a SmackDown main event. Didn't have that WrestleMania-esque feel in my book. Happy for Jay. By the way, I see the comparisons there of Jinder Mahal and Jey Uso. I don't know about that, because I could make a really good argument that Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja, that initial title reign of his, boy, my guy came in at the right place, right time, just completely from out of nowhere. That's a run that should have got more time to cook. Should have got more time to cook. Congratulations to Jey Uso, though. Let's see what happens now going forward. The fans, they love cheering him on. I think it was Paul Heyman that recently revealed in an interview how Jey Uso is like one of the top 3 merchandise pushers and everything. So, he's got that hot, steady hand right now, and that's definitely what you want to go with. Let's see what he can do going forward. Now the real test begins. Raw Tag Team titles, New Day taking on the War Raiders. New Day for the 15th time in their illustrious career, becoming the new tag champions. I was really rooting for the War Raiders. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was really, really pulling for them. I thought for sure they had this in the bag, but did not come to be. Final moments of this one, Woods hitting the honor roll. Try to go in for the cover, but Eric manages to break it up. Trouble in Paradise hits Eric, but Ivar kicks Kingston down, so managed to dodge all that altogether. Doom Assault gets a near fall. Woods making a save with a limit break elbow. Woods and Eric duking it out as Xavier tries going for another honor roll, but that gets broken up. War Machine gets broken up, and Kingston holding on to the leg. I forgot which of the guys there, but that's pretty much how we had got new champions crowned there. Look, okay match. This was another one of those. Welcome to SmackDown. Telling you how it was, folks. I could have done without this match. I don't know what the hell the situation is with Bayley, by the way. We weren't going to talk about that until later on, but I'm thinking about this match and how we could have done without this match. Like, honestly, you could have made this a pre-show match or whatever. But I bring up Bayley just now because apparently during kickoff, Bayley was seen on the ground and she's apparently injured, and as a result, she's not going to be able to compete in that tag match on WrestleMania Night 2. Now, according to a couple of wrestling outlets, the 411 is Bayley's okay. She is legit fine. It's just they're pulling her because they're going in a different direction, and a lot of people are feeling pretty sorry for Bayley as a result. So much so, looks like Mercedes Moné, she put out a tweet to Bayley letting her know with a couple of emojis, give me a call, let's make some money. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that. That's one of those deals where, and I am hoping, because we've seen some really dumb, lame ass questions that has come from some of these conferences. it's like, man, you get an opportunity to go of all the, really good questions you can ask, you know. Hopefully Triple H Paul Levesque will shed some light on what's going on there with Bailey. Hopefully he'll, peel the curtain back a little bit, and rather than just, oh, you just got to wait until Sunday, like, hopefully legit he goes, okay, yeah, I'm aware of people's reactions, like, don't worry, right? But it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating because I think Becky Lynch is going to be coming back. I think Becky Lynch is sliding right in there. Makes a lot of sense when you stop and think about it, because Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch, they've got history. You've got the reports running around that Becky Lynch is supposedly going to be having some type of a major role at this weekend's WrestleMania. So you're looking at what's going on here, because Adam Pearce, he told Lyra Valkyria she had 24 hours to find herself a tag partner, because her tag match, unfortunately, it still was going to be on against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for those tag titles. And then don't forget, coming up on this coming Tuesday's NXT, whoever is the women's tag champions, they got to defend those titles against Tatum, is it Paxley and Gigi Dolan? So kind of have that in your mind too. But going back to this tag match, okay match, nothing extraordinary. Wasn't a bad match, wasn't a good match either. Honestly, the story between New Day and War Raiders, it been ran its course. New Day and the new intrigue and everything that was going on with them, that ran its course pretty damn quick. It just feels like the entire point of New Day being where it is right now is the heat that they were able to draw from what went down with Big E so many weeks ago. But I don't know. It's kind of one of those, so what happens now? We continue to have Big E's name be evoked, right down to the point the costumes that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were wearing, you're going, kind of cool what they were doing there. But it's like, what's the payoff here? Well, why do we keep bringing up this guy's name? Like, is he eventually going to do something on camera? What's the end game here? Because if nothing is going to, then what are we really doing here? Meanwhile, Jade Cargill taking on Naomi. Naomi with one nice attire, I gotta say. I love that attire of hers. Very caution. I loved it. It was kind of giving me Owen Hart vibe too. I don't know if anybody else was kind of getting that vibe. Jade Cargill picking up the victory here. That's coming in at 9 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll be honest. I've seen worse Jade Cargill matches. This was rough. This was really rough to watch. Wasn't a shit fest, but this was rough to watch, because I'm going, wow, Jade, like, we haven't seen you in the ring in so many months here, and boy, it's going to sound really weird for me to say this, but from what I saw of Jade Cargill tonight, and that's my girl now, but I'll call it as I see it, it seemed like there was a regression. You know how it is when you're practicing something, maybe you're learning how to play guitar for those first several weeks, couple of months, and you're starting to get good, and then it's like, all right, I'm going to put this away for a handful of months. Now, you're right, the muscle memory and all that other stuff, like, it's not, so like, wait, what happened? What happened to all the great progress that you made? Like, what the hell? That's how I felt when I was watching this match. And God bless Naomi, she was busting her ass, literally. this was this was bad. Naomi tried her best, man, but this was bad. Jade was just too fucking sloppy. Too fucking sloppy. The little bit of offense that Jade Cargill was able to get in there, like when the shit was on point, you're like, wow, that was pretty good. But then there were other times where you're going, whoa, slow down, homegirl. Pace yourself. Like, I get it. You're caught up in the moment. You're very excited. Like, I get it, but slow down. Take your time here. Reset if you need to. And, it was just one of those things where, I don't know, Jay it just seemed like she never was able to truly just stop and really pace herself. And it showed. A lot of botches in this one. This was really bad. Felt like a struggle here. Now we got a redeeming arc after this one. Now I would imagine that Jade and Naomi, by the way, I would imagine they're not done yet. I would imagine they're gonna keep this going with one another. By the way, what was going on with the costume that Jade Cargill was wearing? Because I know at one point I had to take an important phone call. Was she doing something spectacular with her entrance? Because I'm going, why is she wearing a bodysuit? Like, she doesn't need a bodysuit. Why is she wearing a bodysuit? Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. Her entrance was a little bit, I thought it was kind of comedic because they had this weatherman. I can't remember his name. It was some guy from the Weather Channel and from like the fakest green screen simulated image ever, talking about how basically there's a storm coming. It's the cheesiest thing I ever saw. As far as best entrances, at least for night one of WrestleMania goes, I got to give it up to CM Punk. Hey, man, to have In Living Color sing your theme song there, good stuff right there. Good stuff. Charlotte, who we'll talk about in just a little bit, great entrance as well. Coming now to a very sweet Rolls Royce. Woo! Loving it. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, U.S. title. We got a new United States champion in Jacob Fatu. That came at the 10-minute, 40-second mark. Final moments of this matchup. LA Knight running into a corner for a belly to back, release suplex, connect for a really big crash there. Fatu gets hit with 3 running hip attacks in the corner afterwards. Swanton gives Fatu a near fall. So he goes up for the moonsault, which is turned into a sweet-ass midair BFT. I did not see that coming. Pretty damn good one, too. I think Randy Orton would be nodding somewhere in approval. Fatu grabbing at the rope. Knight coming off a little bit irritated there. Afterwards, Fatu knocks him from off the top rope, hits him with a pair of triple jump moonsaults for the pin, wins the title. Again, 10 minutes and change. You had to do the title change. You had to. You just had to, because Fatu has been building up such great momentum. He has been winning over the fans week in, week out, everything. The overall presentation, the music, the shit talking that he does, everything has just been clicking for this guy on all cylinders. Not since the days of Samoa Joe, Mark Henry, dare I say, as far as like, through the first rodeo with Braun Strowman, even. Truly a legit, this is a bad motherfucker. Now, some people may be like, well, Lee, what about Big Bronson Reed? I go, nah, if you were listening to me for a long time, I said initially, look, Bronson Reed comes off like that nice, big, cuddly teddy bear, right? suspension of disbelief is thrown out the window when he starts talking. I know he can't help it, but when I'm watching him do all those tsunamis, and then I hear that very strong, very eloquent, very proper, uh, strong accent of his, it's like, I wasn't expecting you to sound like that, right? I was expecting, you know, less is better, right? You don't need to say that much, just maybe some one words here or there, give or take and everything. But he is one of the, Jacob Fatu, he is one of the best big men that I have seen come to the dance in WWE in recent years. This guy definitely can't go all the way, should go all the way. As far as I'm concerned, as long as he can stay out of trouble, that's the most important thing here. LA Knight will be just fine. Keep rocking and rolling. LA Knight will be just fine. Maybe a King of the Ring tournament. Maybe that's in the future for LA Knight. Could potentially be Mr. Money in the Bank as well. You never know. From there, good match though. Definitely. I think that would be my sleeper hit moment of the night. That would be my sleeper hit moment of the night. We also found out during kickoff, besides all that great news about AAA and everything, Rey Mysterio, we did get a health update on him. He would not be able to take on El Grande Americano. It was revealed that Penta's brother, Rey Fenix, would be making his WrestleMania in-ring debut there against El Grande Americano. Love this match, by the way. El Grande Americano picking up the win. That came at the 7-minute and 55-second mark. Solid action, loads fun. Boy, these guys clicked very well together. And, not for nothing, but the fact that, wow, originally we were supposed to get Ray and the fact that on short notice, somebody had to step in and not just step in, but, it would have been okay if the match was just, but this match was actually pretty damn good. Definitely one I would say for you all to go out of your way and check out when you all get a moment. What are you girls barking about? Y'all hearing shit. I don't get these girls. They hearing shit. I don't know why they barking. Oh yeah, Vikingo did make an appearance in there as well, because I know he was part of the WWE AAA announcement. He was at ringside fucking with Chad Gable there a little bit. It's Chad Gable under the mask. It is. Let's see. Shawn Michaels reveals the official attendance for night 1 of WrestleMania is 61,467. From there, we go to our SmackDown Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton defending against Charlotte Flair. Tiffany Stratton retaining the title, 19 minutes, 5 seconds. I said this immediately after the match was over, and I still stand behind this. It's funny because I was hearing people losing their marbles over the idea of Charlotte Flair winning the championship. And, I'm just hearing all of this and I'm going, what are y'all smoking? Like, what, like, have y'all been conditioned that harshly that you just go, well, so much for Tiffany Stratton, that goddamn Charlotte? No, I looked at this match and I saw all the stuff that was playing out on SmackDown, the split screen interview to, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on there, but I never once thought Tiffany Stratton's going to lose the damn title. Damn, I never thought that one little bit. I always felt that with the way the current creative regime that's at play is operating, I felt no. The last thing that we're going to do is just do a hard stop after so much time has been spent building up this person, and you're trying to establish them as, hey, this is definitely the future. This is definitely where we are right now, and we need to continue to help elevate this person, build them up, but also at the same time make sure we're paying it forward and have them elevate others around them. And I just thought more and more and more about Triple H's speech from whenever that was, the Hall of Fame speech, but starting to blur there the days and the hours. No, like I always felt, no, she's okay. I always felt that way. I felt this was nothing more than, look, Tiffany Stratton needs that one defining victory under her belt that, okay, yes, she has arrived. She has earned the right to be a champion. Even if she did it, whatever, like, no, she's not a one-hit wonder, right? This is legit. I always felt Charlotte Flair was going to do everything to get this girl ready, but was also going to be a tough challenge, right? Because with Charlotte Flair's like, you really got to go out there and you got to earn that shit. To the point that I had made on social media earlier, I had said, good job, Tiffany. She earned that one because that was all about grit and bringing your best performance. Charlotte Flair made her earn that one as the queen, served her role well. Great job, girls. It's honestly how I felt about that when it was all said and done. So, I hope we can now kind of, get past this notion of, when we see Charlotte Flair run, hide your favorite female wrestlers. And I hope we can kind of get past that, because it's not like Charlotte Flair is showing up and saying too creative, no, I win this, I win that, I win this, give me that, give me this, give me that. It's not like she's doing that, okay? Charlotte has been more giving than taking in recent years. I wish people would really just kind of take a step back and truly recognize that. Because if you really did take a step back, and you would know that what I'm saying is definitely true. And it's kind of one of those things where I don't think Charlotte is finally going to really get her flowers until she's done wrestling. And I think that's the God's honest truth at this point. Few issues here and there. Timing being one of them. Timing was definitely off in a lot of places. You could see Charlotte clear as day, giving a lot of audibles to Tiffany. But the most important takeaway that you can have from this match is the fact that Stratton won cleanly. No controversy involved in this whatsoever. So as far as maybe a rematch with these two immediately, I don't know about all that. Had Stratton lost to Charlotte Flair here, this would have been a situation where Charlotte would have been like, okay, now you get to add this girl to the list of that Charlotte has beaten. But then also at the same time, you go, okay, well, now what do we do with Tiffany Stratton? Like we built her up, and then we essentially just knocked her down a peg or two. Where does the Tiffany Stratton character go from here? Like, what do we do now? So I'm glad that they did it like this, at least for the time being. Now, I think Charlotte Flair definitely has a couple of more titles in her picture. in the years to come before she hangs it up. I definitely see her at least 2, maybe 3 more championship reigns. Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's see what else. Hall of Fame. Got a recap there. Everything that went down. No Lex Luger. Maybe he wasn't trying to be out there on the wheelchair, but hopefully he'll be there Sunday night. Hopefully he'll be there Sunday night. But everybody was there. Really cool stuff. Cool moment right there. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Your main event match. Rollins got dressed up twice here. So Rollins comes out, flamethrower and everything. Kind of like, and I like how everything just went pitch black. And then when the lights come on, Seth Rollins is in this all white outfit, and you're going, I was getting Shawn Michaels Jesus vibes there. I don't know about you guys. Roman Reigns, he gets the different screens of the family members of his family, his bloodline, and all that. Paul Heyman gets a special video package going back to his early days in the WWE, even going back to that Fire Still Burns song. Fun little trivia for you guys. There was another wrestler that was pushing that song before CM Punk. There's some fun little trivia for you guys to research if you don't know your stuff there. And Living Color playing Cult of Personality live for CM Punk as he made his way to the ring there. These boys went about 33 minutes. Look, I think everybody smelled a mile away the Paul Heyman turn. Definitely, there. The fact that in the process, though, Rollins turned, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing whatsoever, right? I'm behind this, family. I am behind this, okay? Because I'm going, so you're telling me now we can get past the sing-along stuff. We can get past the extravagant attires and the ridiculous boots, and we can get past all of that, and we can now really start doing some fun creative stuff here with Seth Rollins. And we have him essentially, I think this is going to be a lot of fun, because I can remember Seth Rollins with the Authority, Seth Rollins having Jamie Noble, and who was the other guy? I wasn't a fan of that era whatsoever. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I did not care about that whatsoever. Seth Rollins, the Architect, I didn't particularly care about that era. Seth Rollins. Reconstruct, rebuild, revisit, whatever that version of Seth Rollins was that was running around. I didn't mind that one. Especially when Seth Rollins kind of went the Lex Luthor, one black glove, whatever LSD trip he was doing back then. I love you, Seth. No, but one glove Seth. I actually didn't mind that character. I thought it needed a lot more flushing out and everything. Didn't care for the Heath Ledger Joker, or the actually, no, not the Heath Ledger Joker. That was actually the oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on my guy's name, and that's one of my all-time Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, I did not mean to draw a blank on him. But now that we're at this point, nothing but good things is going to happen here. I mean, Heyman, when it's all said and done, he is the absolute best in recognizing something that's there with somebody talent-wise and bringing it out of them. And he's also good at whatever their weaknesses are, masking it and everything. And to see what Paul Heyman was able to do with Roman Reigns, for example, suffering succotash and just the big dog, just to take that and to where Roman Reigns is today. You look at what was going on with CM Punk. CM Punk didn't need anybody walking beside him. He could already do what he needed to do on the microphone. But I tell you what, to add Paul Heyman to his side from back in the day, that definitely added a whole new layer, validity, credibility, whole 9 yards. So nothing but good things is going to happen here with this alliance here. Very solid back and forth main event. I ended up liking this more than I thought I was going to. And I appreciate the fact that it felt big. It felt very important here, what we were checking out. We talked about some of the stuff that happened at the top with this main event match, by the way. But towards the end, just kind of getting right to the nitty gritty, Paul Heyman seeing everybody pretty much down on the canvas, deciding he had to step in. He gets a steel chair. Closest to him is Roman Reigns, CM Punk. He's not really sure who to give the steel chair to. So he decides he's going to give it to CM Punk. Roman Reigns looks on, pretty upset. CM Punk is ecstatic that he has the steel chair. Heyman gets in the ring with him. And it's at this moment when you know, okay, something's not right, because Heyman is getting in the ring. Here comes the fuckery. And sure enough, Paul Heyman delivering a low blow to CM Punk. Roman Reigns, by the way, Roman Reigns, those have to be veneers that he's pushing. I got to show the footage to my wife because she actually works in the dental field. She's a treatment planner and a manager, so at the practice that she's at. And so I know she's going to get a kick out of looking at those veneers of his, because I tell you what, I was looking at his choppers. I'm going, man, that shit is bright. I felt like I had to get some shades at one point. I'm going, good God almighty. Can they get any damn whiter? Roman Reigns, loving what he's saying. He gets the steel chair from Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman gestures over to Roman. Hey, look. Basically, hey, it's Seth Rollins. He's kind of coming to his feet. You better handle that. You better take care of that, my tribal chief. Roman Reigns was getting ready to go to work with that steel chair. Boom. Low blow to him by Paul Heyman. Heyman basking in the glory, handing the steel chair to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins then unloading that steel chair on Roman Reigns. I kind of feel like he did hit Punk with the steel chair maybe once, but I know for sure he definitely did the stomp on Roman Reigns to pick up the win and everything. Big Phil moment and a nice shocking twist that we had to close out night one of WrestleMania. Kind of interesting when you look at night one of WrestleMania overall now that it's in the books, because you look at the main matches that mattered most. The main event match, which we just talked about, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton. If you want to maybe even look at LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, or maybe even Gunther versus Jey Uso there. Those worked pretty solid, but you're looking at your 7 matches, right? You're looking at your 7 matches total there. and you're going, okay, well, some of the joints I could have done without. Like some people would honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some people said I could have honestly did without Jade Cargill and Naomi. I could have done honestly without New Day and Viking Raiders. Hey, okay, that's totally fine. Um, I still feel the way I feel about Jey Uso and Gunther. That could have been so better. It could have been so better. But everything else was pretty good. I was surprised that I ended up liking the Ray Phoenix El Grande Americano match, the way that I ended up enjoying it. Did we actually need that one? Probably not. We honestly probably could have done without it since Ray was injured and everything. But overall, solid. I think night two is going to be better though. Enough of me. What did you guys think about night one of WrestleMania? Let's see what you guys had to say here throughout social media. First things first, let's look at the polling results over at the RCWR show. I was drinking tea, but I'm going to stick to water because it's making me a little bit too dry here. So let's see what you guys are saying here. All right, there we go. All right, going to the interactive poll. How did you rate night one of WrestleMania? Right now, I am seeing 3% of you are saying it was terrible overall. 16% of you felt it was a below average show. 30% of you said it was an awesome show. And top dog right now, 50% of you are saying it was a average show. Appreciate you guys that voted via Twitter. Let's see how you guys voted over on YouTube. Go over to youtube.com/the RCWR show if you want to look at the polling results there. Click on the post section. Right now, we got 20% of you that said terrible overall was night one. And we have a tie at 40%, as half of you felt it was a below average show, while the other half of you said it was a awesome show. And just going back to earlier, as far as NXT Stand and Deliver, YouTube poll for that, I'm showing 40% of you said it was an awesome show, while 60% of you said it was an average show. Those are the results that's coming via YouTube. For Twitter, let's see here. I tried to make sure I didn't tweak that much so I could easily retrieve it here. Here we go. I'm seeing 9% of you decided you're going to skip Stand and Deliver, while 90% of you said it was a awesome show. Appreciate you guys that voted. We'll probably poke our heads in there one more time Sunday night, WrestleMania night 2, just to see, because I know it's a lot. It is a lot to be catching up on and everything during the weekend. So I would imagine probably more people are going to get around to watching NXT Stand and Deliver, because I have a feeling that's going to go up. Let's get through some comments though, as far as night one of WrestleMania here. So let's go to social media and let's see what we got going on. This is my favorite part because I love reading you all's comments and getting a really good gauge on what say you, the people. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. This don't look good. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Rob K. Rabia is giving the night one WrestleMania a 7 out of 10. Apparently, he's not a fan of some results opener, And to him, the Raw tag titles was there only to make War Raiders cosplay uh, Call of Duty characters when they could build some good storylines if properly booked. Still, the event wasn't as bad as the IWC is saying. Yes, the opener was awful bell to bell. Yes, we've seen some more active crowds in April 2020. I thought the crowds were pretty good tonight for night one. And yes, probably having sunlight until the sixth match didn't help with the immersion, possibly. Other matches were okay. Didn't expect Jade Cargill to have such a performance, and Naomi's new outfit, correction, new character is lit. Even if WWE has to update her ring Minitron, I've been able to watch a LA Night match without getting bored for the first time since SummerSlam. And Stratton versus Flair was pretty solid, even if those micro mistakes were doing every move slowed the rhythm of the match. Let's pause right there because there's like a lot more. I want to jump to something that's a little bit more shorter, a little bit more concise and everything. King's Crossing, 4 out of 10, saying, while I wouldn't consider this a bad show by any means, I do think it fell below the expected standard of WrestleMania. I heavily disliked the opening World Heavyweight title match, both because I felt it undermined Jay's entire storyline to open the show, and because Jay's performance, as well as the overall structure of the match, were frankly pretty poor, kind of following up what I was saying earlier. Thankfully, the rest of the show was an improvement from this. However, the vast majority of it felt mediocre and like it would have been much better suited to an average episode of Raw than a big show like WrestleMania. They seem to be putting a lot more thought into the entrances and general presentation of the night. The wrestlers themselves also seem to be largely working really hard, as even some of the less significant matches had some pretty ambitious spots to make the most out of the major stages that they were on. Despite this, the show felt lacking in stakes and like it was missing a big match or two on the undercard. While there were some memorable moments, there was certainly nothing here that felt like a WrestleMania classic that really stole the show. It was a watchable show with some decent wrestling, but I think this needed a bit more to really feel like it deserved the WrestleMania billing. Hindsight being 2020, I wish we could have maybe taken AJ Styles, Karrion Cross. I'm sorry, no, AJ Styles, Logan Paul. I wish maybe we could have done something with them for night one. But hey, Karrion Cross, AJ Styles, WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe we might get that in the future. All right, let's see here. German, 15 fan. 3 out of 10. Didn't like this show very much. The main event was great, but that can only carry a show but so much. Uso Gunther was a dull match with an extremely stupid finish. Yeah, weird stat, by the way. With Jey Uso tapping out Gunther, Jey Uso now joins Dragunov as the only two men in company history to make Gunther tap out. War Raiders New Day could and should have been on a TV show, with the titles changing being the only noteworthy part of the show. Cargill Naomi had some impressive power, but Cargill was otherwise forgettable. Fatu night was good, but didn't have many memorable moments. Americano Phoenix was quite good, though the loaded mask is overused. Yeah, we got to scale back on that. Stratton Flair was a sloppy and dull affair that soured me on Charlotte permanently. Ooh, ooh, ooh. My wife just did a drive-by. I'm literally looking at the comments. My wife just did a drive-by. Just for that, I'm just gonna. Oh God, that's hilarious. Thank you, hon. Love you too. Let's see what else we got here. You want me to switch it up, guys? You want me to read a positive one? Let me see. Do we got a positive one? We got a positive one coming up. Let's go. Let's go through another one here. Changing FMH. This show was dreadfully boring. Long periods of video packages and entrances between 10-minute matches. The Grande Americano's win is a sign we're in for a wrestling humiliation ritual with this AAA relationship. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Come on. Look, be concerned for AAA if Conan is not allowed to continue to book AAA the way he's been booking it. Okay. Tiffany versus Charlotte started off strong, but they had a 10-minute match prepared and started repeating themselves without bringing the match up for about 5 minutes, and it really fell off. Main event was excellent, though. Top 3 triple threats of all time. I thought that tonight was going to be the good night. D. Macy, 15, 8 out of 10. I think this night could have been one of the greatest nights ever because the card was solid. I thought all the performers did their best in all of their retrospective matches. The crowd was one of the weakest crowds that I have ever seen. Vegas did not show up and get into the show or the spectacle. Most of the matches were pretty decent, but no classics until the main event. The crowd, and I can't wait to hear more from those that were actually in attendance, because there were certain moments there where, now that I'm playing some of the matches back in my head and everything, it did seem like the crowd wasn't really, I don't know if it was the nachos that was getting to them or what, but it did kind of seem like they were kind of out of it. Maybe everything that happened in the days prior, Hall of Fame lag, your guess is as good as mine, but now that I'm really thinking about it more and more, like right down to the point, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. But when WrestleMania properly opened up and Triple H was in the middle of the ring, and just the lackluster ovation that the guy got, I'm going, wait, this guy just got inducted into the Hall of Fame like hours ago, and this is the start of WrestleMania weekend. Like, here we are, it's finally here. Let's go. Like, you got more energy than that. Like come on, what's going on with you guys? The usual suspects that we expect to see at these premium live events, green shirt guy, the Samoan looking dude, the black woman, all those people were there, and they had more excitement than the average Joe that probably spent probably had to put his house the mortgage up there just so he could get him some money so he can go do the little WrestleMania package. I mean, Jesus. See, what else are you saying here? Most of the matches were pretty decent, but yeah, till the main event. Yep, the main event was arguably the greatest triple threat match in WrestleMania history. That was storytelling and cinema at its finest. That seemed to finally wake the crowd up, but that was too late. The energy should have been there from the get-go. Main event and the performers are the reason why I voted an 8. Hopefully tomorrow night the crowd will be more into it, and we get another classic like the main event tonight. Yeah, we'll do just a couple of more. By the way, shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now. If you're appreciating what we're doing, just show some love, especially on the YouTube channel. You can find the same episode live right now. Just make sure you hit the like button. That really helps us out. Let's read a couple more of these reactions from you all. Your thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1. Enchantium. This card as a whole was below par. It had a lot of boring, useless matches or matches that just didn't get enough time to go anywhere. The major help for this rating to even get to a 5 from me was solely the main event that had a good match with great storytelling and a nice twist to the story, which can now be explored in multiple ways. Each match was relatively obvious on the winners, besides the main event and the match between El Grande Americano and Rey Fenix. I am hoping the second night has a little more success than this one. OTM, Jey Uso winning was needed, but surprised that he won with a submission. Jey is the only second person to submit Gunther in WWE, and the other was Dragunov. Charlotte sandbagged for Tiffany because of her personal feelings being hurt. That's what you're assuming. You got to make sure you stress that now. New Day is finally champs again, and their gear was fire. That was some really good gear. They had some of the best gear for sure. By the way, what was going on with CM Punk's gear? Like, that gear screamed his straight edge society days / when he was running around with a mask briefly there. Naomi is poised to be back in the main event picture. Jacob Fatu is a star. He got his first championship in WWE, and it will certainly not be his last. Main event stole the show. Called Heyman turning on Roman and Punk and joining Seth. Very well done. Two more. I'm glad I'm not the only one who found it largely meh. Doesn't help that I'd figure out the twist in the main event too, which was good. But I'm getting tired of the Triple H cinematic match universe. For fuck's sake, I know the story. You have 60 minutes of videos before every match. I don't need the wrestlers to stand over each other, yelling little speeches and play acting conflict. We did that. Just fucking beat each other up already. I am so tired of cinema wrestling. Please treat this like a sport. Stop the nonsense with funny faces. Damn, how you really feel? All right, let's go more positive, huh? Jordan, WrestleMania 41 Night 1 was very much carried by the main event match. U.S. title match between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, and the women's title match, Tiffany versus Charlotte, were the only other watchable matches on the show. If I had to rewatch this show, they are the only three I wouldn't want to skip. Nothing felt like WrestleMania until the main event. From the pre-packaged video package, yeah, I said that wrong. From the pre-match video package to the entrance, to the in-ring match, to the post-match ending, the whole thing felt like a Mania main event, and a worthy one at that. Without the main event, this would be like a 4 at best, but it gets bumped to a 7. Wow, amazing, the power of the main event, yeah? And I will give you one more. Let's go with Robbie. The start of this show was very much suspect, as the first two matches didn't deliver to the standards that were given. But we saw Jey Uso finally do it as he made Gunther submit to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. New Day finally got some gold again as they defeated War Raiders to become new World Champions, tag champions. But WrestleMania Night 1 started to heat up after the Jade Cargill versus Naomi match. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu had a very good match, with Jacob Fatu getting his first singles title in WWE. Yep. Ray Phoenix had his first ever. I'm gonna stop on this one because this feels more like a recap. I'm not interested in that. Let's try another one here. Warren. This one will be quite diversive. However, I think this show ranged from a lightly above average to amazing. The main event was one of the best ever, and the rest of the show had some highlights too. Big winners from tonight, obviously, the three gents in the main event. Tiffany Stratton for one of the best WrestleMania debuts ever, along with Jacob Fatu getting his first silverware. And of course, main event Jay Uso finally getting his flowers in an above average match with Gunther. This is why we watch. Okay, I can work with that. See. Charles via Twitter felt that night one of WrestleMania was a good show with an awesome main event. Cool. And am I missing anybody else? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody else. Let me put that on mentions because sometimes I miss people. I don't know how that is even possible. Sometimes I miss people. Let's see here. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Oh, wait. Shout out to Edgar from earlier, who wanted to share his reactions to what was happening there with the WWE AAA announcement there, saying that it wasn't in his 2025 wrestling bingo. Very surprising, but great. He just hopes that WWE lets them keep doing what they're doing, and Conan will keep booking the show. Shout out to Lightning, who wanted me to know that as far as his picks go for night one, his winners, he felt it was going to be Seth Rollins. You got that right. Jey Uso, in Lightning's words, he has to win for fuck's sake. Well, you got that one. Charlotte, you didn't get that one. LA Knight, you didn't get that one. El Grande Americano, you got that one. Jade Cargill, you got that one. New Day, you got that one. You did pretty good, Lightning. Good job, buddy. Let's see, what else? I think we're caught up. Let me just make sure. I love this. This is my favorite part of the show. I love kicking back and just checking you guys out. Now, we got some Hall of Fame comments I got to get through, too. Oh, God. We got some Hall of Fame comments we got to get through. So, first things first, I want to say I went on such an epic rant about Michelle McCool. I did get a little emotional at that part about Lay Cool and seeing Layla there. I had the biggest crush on Layla. I always appreciated her work ethic. I always felt she was so freaking underrated. And when it comes to Lay Cool, I thought Layla made Lay Cool, because if it wasn't for her, it was just like nothing. So I definitely want to make sure Layla gets her damn flowers. Got so sidetracked just talking about Michelle McCool. Crash Stevens had this to say in regards to a comment I made about, why not Jazz? Why not Natty? Why not? And this is what Cash Stevens had to say. Jazz was more famous for flashing her tits live on Raw more than once than her wrestling. Natty will definitely go in, but she's still an active competitor. Yes, I know Mysterio is still very much active, but he was expected to retire when he went in, then changed his mind. Allegedly. I mean, you always got to make sure allegedly. Never state something as fact, because when you do that, you're making it seem like you have direct knowledge of And then it becomes a situation where you then have to go, okay, what are you citing from exactly, right? So always make sure you don't back yourself into a corner like that. And it's sad that this narrative of, well, Jazz was more famous for flashing her tits and more than once. It's like, that's really the only thing that you're going to truly home in on. You're not going to focus on the fact of her contributions that she's made, not just for the independent scene, but the contributions that she made in TNA wrestling, recent contributions that she was making to the NWA, contributions that she made, last rodeo with TNA there and everything. Like, the woman, when you really, really take a step back and wait a minute, let me really see what this woman was about, what this woman was doing. And I don't mean any disrespect to my girl Jazz. I got a lot of respect for her and everything, but I'm sure Jazz would probably be the first to tell you, wait a minute, tits? I have tits? Since when? I'm sure, I'm sure she'll say, something along those lines. So let's try not to be that so narrow minded, because that's not good. That's not good being that narrow minded. Let's see what else here. I think we're caught up. Why am I getting a yeah? What is that comment about? Hang on here, guys. What's that about? All I see here is yeah. Oh yeah, Booker T. Yeah, yeah. Don't even get me started on Booker T, fam. I'm not even just no. I'm not even gonna no. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving that alone. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. It's fucking ridiculous. All right, so we are caught up. It looks like. Let me just poke my head on the actual YouTube stream. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because for some weird reason, sometimes once in a blue moon, I will miss some stuff. Nah, we're good, fam. We're good. We're caught up. We're caught up. We're good. We're good. All right, another show in the book. So if you keeping track so far, so we did the Hall of Fame ceremony, yearly tradition. That's like a no-brainer. You haven't checked out the post show for that, we got the webcast version available on the YouTube channel. Audio version of that Hall of Fame post show is available wherever you get your audio, right? Just search the RCWR show. We got the NXT Stand and Deliver. I'm going to make the NXT Stand and Deliver post show. That's just going to be a web show exclusive. So that's a YouTube exclusive. So check that out. You guys just got done with the WrestleMania Night 1 post show, right? So now we're gonna come back Sunday night, probably going into Monday about the same time, I would think, if not maybe a little sooner. We'll cover night 2, Fallout, and then my favorite night, the Raw after WrestleMania. That is going to be fire. I always look forward to those Raws after Mania. So definitely join me for that as well. And then I think we might actually end up as far as Tuesday night goes. I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. We'll see how that plays out. I might feel like doing a little something, talking NXT. I might. It depends. But in the meantime, be kind, rewind. Check out those previous episodes you might have missed for on demand and on the downloads. Get at me all throughout social media. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And until next go round, my pretty babies, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Make sure you support the show, subscribe, hit likes, hearts, all that jazz. I will see you all for night 2 of WrestleMania action. Take care, y'all. Peace.